This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
The time is 6:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news edited by Romesh Piris and read by Tilani Piris. The President says the Easter Sunday attack is a national issue and that it should not be used as a political theme. COVID-19 recovery is on the rise. COVAX delivers another batch of COVID-19 vaccines. The Education Ministry in talks to reopen schools. The government to consider relief extension for the tourism sector. The Catholic community engages in a silent protest today as part of the Black Sunday campaign. And on international news, Myanmar police fired a tear gas to break up a sit-in demonstration by tens of thousands of people in Mandalay. And on sports cricket, IPL 2021 to kick off in Chennai on April 9th. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa stressed that the government did not want to hide the report of the Presidential Commission that probed the Easter Sunday attack. He said he would not enter into any deal with any individual or a faction with regard to the PCOI report and added that he did not want to please anyone either. He said this during the Gama Samaga Pilisandara program in the Kurunegala district. The president also said that the Easter Sunday attack was a national issue and that it should not be used as a political theme. The head of state stated that concern raised by His Eminence, Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit, was reasonable and it is correct for him to talk about it. President Rajapaksa noted that it is surprising and regrettable that the politicians of the then government, who were silent at the time of the attack, are hoisting black flags now. 290 individuals who contracted the coronavirus have recovered and have been discharged during the past 24 hours. Accordingly, total recoveries in Sri Lanka have risen to 82,059. The number of COVID-19 cases confirmed in the country rose to 85,336 following the detection of 376 patients yesterday. 2,780 individuals are currently being treated for the coronavirus at several facilities, while 361 suspected COVID-19 cases are also under medical observation. Sri Lanka has experienced 497 deaths due to the coronavirus pandemic thus far. Meanwhile, 724,278 individuals have thus far been administered the first dose of the COVID-19 vaccination against the coronavirus. The epidemiology unit of the Ministry of Health said 24,757 individuals were inoculated yesterday. The COVID vaccination drive commenced on the 29th of January, with individuals above the age of 30 being administered the vaccine. The Health Ministry has stated that they expect to administer the second jab within 12 weeks of having received the first dose. Another batch of Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine due to arrive from the World Health Organization has been delivered to the island early this morning. Accordingly, 264,000 doses of Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine arrived on an Emirates charter flight earlier today. The vaccine was purchased by UNICEF and made available to Sri Lanka through the COVAX facility of the WHO. Upon arrival, the stock of vaccines was officially handed over to Dr. Sudashini Fernandopulle, the State Minister of Primary Healthcare, Epidemics and COVID-19 Disease Control. UNICEF will provide 1.44 million doses of vaccines in phase until the end of May 2021, as authorized by the WHO emergency list. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
The Speed Investment Plan from Sri Lanka Insurance. Give a high five to life.
The Minister of Education has sought the approval of the Director General of Health Services to reopen schools from the 15th of March. The Secretary of the Education Ministry, Professor Kapila Perera, said discussions are being held between the Education Minister and various stakeholders over the decision to reopen schools in the Western Province. Professor Kapila Perera also noted a final date to reopen schools in the Western Province will be announced after seeking the opinion of health and education authorities. The Catholic community in Sri Lanka engaged in a silent protest today as part of the Black Sunday campaign. The leaders of the Sri Lanka's Roman Catholic Church declared today a Black Sunday demanding justice for the victims of 2019 Easter Sunday attacks. Congregations attended today's Mass dressed in black and engaged in a silent protest at the end of services. Church bells tolled at 8:45 a.m., the time of the near simultaneous bombings on the 21st of April 2019, while special prayers were offered seeking justice for the victims. The silent protest at the St. Anthony's Shrine in Kochikade was held under the patronage of the Archbishop of Colombo, Cardinal Malcolm Ranjit. Speaking at the protest, the Archbishop requested the government to ensure more effort into identifying the mastermind behind the attacks. His eminence called for the need of an honest investigation to identify sources of funding, political allies, and international intervention behind the attacks. The Cardinal vowed to continue protests until the government indicates signs of interest in providing solutions. The leader of opposition, Sajith Premadasa, has charged the government of deviating from its responsibility to ensure national security. Speaking at an event in Tissa Maharama, parliamentarian Premadasa stressed the government has failed in all avenues of the country, including vaccinations, and have resorted to political victimization. That ends local news for now.
Introducing Speed Investment with Sri Lanka Insurance, the only insurance policy that increases your sum assured by 5% every year for the same premium amount. You also get a bonus payment at maturity. What better plan to have when you can invest now and relax later? The Speed Investment Plan from Sri Lanka Insurance. Give a high five to life. Sri Lanka Insurance. Like a father, like a mother.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
The government has directed attention towards extending the loan and leasing relief package for those engaged in the tourism sector until the end of 2021 owing to the coronavirus pandemic. The Minister of Tourism, Prasanna Ranatunga, said discussions in this regard are being held by the relevant authorities. Loan and leasing concessions have been provided for those in the tourism sector since March last year and was due to end on the 31st of this month. Minister Ranatunga, during a meeting, said although the country reopened to tourists as of last January, the government is considering the extension as the tourism sector is yet to return to normalcy. Accordingly, the minister added, a request has been made to the government to extend the concession until the 31st of December 2021. That was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
And on Watch Light this evening, the Sri Lanka Information Technology Association requests people to be vigilant when receiving messages claiming giving free gifts through social media applications. SLITA says more than 100 complaints were received by the association with regards to using various web addresses and brand names of well-known companies. Therefore, the SLITA requests the public to be watchful when clicking on such fake messages. That came to you in Watchlight.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always. All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
World News headlines first. Myanmar police fired tear gas to break up a sit-in demonstration by tens of thousands of people in Mandalay. Standoff between protesters and police in Bangkok. Shake off your ill will, Britain says EU over post-Brexit trade. Myanmar police fired tear gas to break up a sit-in demonstration by tens of thousands of people in Mandalay today, while protests were held in at least half a dozen other cities in some of the most widespread action against last month's coup. Security forces cracked down on many of the protests. Police fired tear gas and stun grenades on protesters in the country's main city Yangon and in Lashio town in the northern Shan region. There was no word of any casualties. Thailand's anti-government protesters and police were locked in a standoff for several hours in front of a courthouse in Bangkok over the weekend. Young people resumed their protests last month after halting them temporarily due to the spread of the coronavirus infection. Yesterday, thousands of protesters gathered and occupied major roads in the capital. They marched to the courthouse demanding the resignation of Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha, who led a military coup as a general in 2014. They also called for the abolition of Lee's majestic charges and reform of the monarchy. Britain's top EU advisor David Frost says the European Union should shake off its ill will and build a good relationship with Britain as sovereign equals, promising to stand up for the country's interests. Writing in Sunday Telegraph, Frost again defended Britain's unilateral move to smooth post-Brexit trade between Britain and Northern Ireland, over which the EU has promised to launch legal action for breaching the terms of the Brexit deal. Back to the world news headlines. Myanmar police fired tear gas to break up a sit-in demonstration by tens of thousands of people in Mandalay. Standoff between protesters and police in Bangkok. Shake off your ill will, Britain tells EU over post-Brexit trade. That ends World News.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always. All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Development News is brought to you by Navia along with CIB from 1st to 15th March. Valuable gifts for every bill payment. Our products, our place. CIB.
And on development news, global demand for sanitary devices, including rubber gloves, has been greatly increased because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and therefore to manufacture raw rubber locally for catering to the demand has been identified. A coordinating committee therefore was implemented comprising planters and industrialists to encourage the local rubber industry in a joint endeavour of the state and private sector institutions. The cabinet therefore approved the proposal by the plantation minister to maintain value addition of the rubber sector in Sri Lanka with proper operation, solve the issues in the sector through discussion, for providing policy recommendations to the government, and to appoint an interinstitutional coordination committee for the development of rubber cultivation and industries comprised of relevant ministries and institutions headed by the Plantation Ministry Secretary. That came to you in Development News.
Development News was brought to you by Navia along with CIB from 1st to 15th March. Valuable gifts for every bill payment. Our products, our place. CIB.
And on sports news, cricket, IPL 2021 will start in Chennai on April 9th with the match between Mumbai Indians and Royal Challengers Bangalore. In a mail to the IPL teams this morning, the Board of Control for Cricket in India said Ahmedabad, Bengaluru, Chennai, Delhi, Mumbai and Kolkata will be hosting the league that will run till May 30th. The Narendra Modi Cricket Stadium in Ahmedabad will host the playoffs on May 25th, May 26th, May 28th and the final on May 30th. That was Sports News.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Asserting its strong commitment in curbing the growing implications of the pandemic, leading private healthcare provider Hemas Hospitals signed an MOU with the Ministry of Health to commence COVID-19 PCR testing in a new state-of-the-art PCR laboratory recently. Based in Wattala, the facility utilizes the latest technology and is believed to be the most sophisticated laboratory by industry experts. It caters to inpatients, outpatients, foreign travelers, tourists and corporates including factories and offices. That was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Hello, Puta. Did you land already?
We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy.
Calm down, everything is sorted. Why, I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge.
LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
The NDB and the Norwegian Development Finance Institution, Norfund, have reached an agreement for Norfund to invest up to 9.99% in National Development Bank PLC. Under this agreement, Norfund will participate in the rights issue for 8 billion rupees that NDB has already announced by way of subscribing to unsubscribed rights and also by way of a private placement if required. And this investment is subject to other conditions, including regulator and shareholders' approval. That's economic news.
Congratulations on your promotion. Heard you gave a treat for everyone in your department yesterday.
Yeah.
When will be our treat, huh?
Well, how about today?
Oh no, I was just joking. We'll have a party with your new salary.
It's fine. I have my LOLC credit card with me. Let's go out today.
Those who spread goodness radiate happiness to everyone around them. Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
And now to conclude the weather report, showers or thunder showers will occur at several places over most parts of the island in the evening. Fairly heavy falls above 75 millimeters can be expected at some places in the central, Sabragamur, southern and western provinces. General public is kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by temporary localizing strong winds and lightning during thunder showers. That was the weather report, and now to end this news broadcast, the main points once again. The President says the Easter Sunday attack is a national issue and that it should not be used as a political theme. COVID-19 recoveries on the rise. COVAX delivers another batch of COVID-19 vaccines. The Education Ministry in talks to reopen schools. The government to consider relief extension for the tourism sector. The Catholic community engages in a silent protest today as part of the Black Sunday campaign. And on international news, Myanmar police fired tear gas to break up a sit-in demonstration by tens of thousands of people in Mandalay. And on sports cricket, IPL 2021 to kick off in Chennai on April 9th. That ends this news broadcast. And now it's back to my good friend and colleague Mario Vijayavardhana to continue the Sunday evening's musical program. And I'm sure he's having a great lineup of music just for you on a Sunday evening as usual. Back to you, Mario.